I freaking love Vitality and what they're doing for esports. What is going on, everybody? Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to more esports talk. For the second time in the past month or so, we're talking about Vitality. This time around, their CEO, Nicholas, has come forward and said he wants to share his players' salaries with the public, although he can't because it would only be hurting himself. I think this perspective, this argument brings up a great debate out there in terms of transparency between organizations, players, and all of us out there because, let's be honest, guys, when he first said this, a great interview, by the way, will be linked down below with Esports Observer. When he first brought this up, the first thing that comes to my mind, maybe yours as well, is we would all love to know what some of the best pro players out there are currently making for their salaries. Ironically enough, we are at the highest point in time, I do believe, for salaries for games like League of Legends, CSGO, Rocket League, all the more esports out there as well have reached record highs when it comes time for salaries for their players. Also, ironically, why I say that is because Vitality is included in CSGO, League of Legends, Rocket League as well. And on top of that, when Nicholas did say he would love to share these player salaries, he expanded upon that and actually shared with us, well, currently why he cannot do that. So in this great interview as well, again, I really do want you guys to enjoy this yourselves. He talks a lot about some other things out there I will not be hinting at yet, although I'll briefly mention them in the back half of that. But during his statement, when he talks about player salaries, he does go on to say that he would love to share player salaries. I'd love to share more numbers, but for this to happen, players need to be comfortable with this. It would clear up a lot of misconceptions, figures from here and there. He also goes on very lastly to say, I think openness in the market is good, but right now, if I'm the only one doing it, I'm hurting myself. And this, again, is a great argument. I would love to see your comments about this. What would you guys rather have happen? Would you rather not know any salaries? We hear leaks from time to time, brought to us by great people like Decay and others as well, where we hear players making $500K a year, $600K a year, whatever it might be. We see ESPN reporting about Hooney, who signed a $2.3 million 2-year deal. We rarely hear about those things. Would you rather have it be a rarity or for everyone out there to know everyone else's salary? When you first say it like that, you think that's just incomprehensible. Would that really work? And what kind of problems would that cause for both players and organizations? My first two thoughts, and again, what do you guys think about this? What would you rather have and why? Is this? It really could hurt the bargaining power of both the players and the organizations. Let's say you're a player making $25K a month. Now an organization approaches you. They know what you make, so they offer you $30K a month. If they had not known what you wanted, maybe they overshoot you and they would have given you $40K a month, but your salary is public, so they know how to lowball you just a bit above what you're currently making. Now, yes, there will always be organizations out there who come into esports, they overoffer players, they get those players, and good for them. But also on the organizational side, let's say you have a player like Simple or some of the best players in the world like K-Dot from Rocket League or Perks and Doublelift from League of Legends, and you want to pay your best player a significant amount more than any other player on your roster. All of a sudden, you pick up a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth member, and they're making way, way less because they know what the best player on the team is making, and all of a sudden, they're like, hey, we want a little bit more. Does that also hurt the organization, and does it also drive a rift between teammates? I think it personally would. There's a reason why in most marketplaces, or at least in most workplaces, you probably don't want to know what the person next to you is making because instinctively humans, we get a bit jealous. And I just love this conversation. I love Vitality entirely because I was going to start off the video by saying they have done so many great things in the past few months, especially in the first year as well of operations really being this widely regarded in the of course, the scenes they've already entered. They've done a fantastic job. League of Legends, CSGO, Rocket League, and more. Alongside all of this, announcing a closed funding round, which, by the way, they report has broken records in Europe, if not at least France, of $30+ million. Adidas came in. They dropped a clothing line in a partnership with them, a brand new HQ in France as well. On top of everything else, they've had a significant end to the year so far. And with that all being said, we now have a CEO who I love. I love when CEOs out there are transparent. They're very public about their opinions. And now we have Vitality's Nicholas Moore, I probably mispronounced that, a CEO over there who said he would love to share player salaries, but he can't because no one else is willing to. And so the final question to all of you guys, is that probably the right call as of right now to keep all of that stuff behind a closed door? When it comes to NBA, NFL, football, soccer, whatever you do choose to call it, a lot of those salaries are public because they are leaked. When it comes to public domain, though, for every esports athlete out there, that might be a tough one to draw into. Now, very lastly, in closing, a few small statements as well coming from Vitality, which do hint at a few big things coming for Rocket League and CSGO. I won't go into full detail about these things, but yet again, we actually have now Vitality CEO hinting at the fact that Rocket League would be a great revenue share model, that being a buy-in model or a franchise model for organizations who are connected to it. And this is not the first time we have heard an owner or a higher up inside an organization hint at Rocket League being a franchise model or a buy-in type league. league. By the way, 100 Thieves, one of their uppers, had also talked about this during one of Nadeshot's vlogs. We talked about that, and even further, they had also mentioned CSGO potentially having franchise leagues, which we now all know. If you guys are a CSGO viewer or a fan, that has now been rumored several times across several sources. Also, 100 Thieves upper management have talked about a CSGO franchise league. Also, now Vitality CEO has said the current structure in CSGO is not the perfect one, and that a franchise or buy-in model certainly could be one. And alongside that, many other sources out there have stated there are certainly franchise leagues for CSGO in the works, and that kind of revenue share model, which pushes money back towards the organization and back towards the players, that's what orgs like Vitality are clearly looking for right now. But until next time, I hope you guys all enjoy. Vitality are certainly on the pathway, I think, right now in 2020 to be, if not competing with G2. G2 is by far and away, when you consider a French organization, ahead when it comes to being highly evaluated out there. But Vitality are certainly making great moves in the right direction in terms of their valuation as well. A great piece as well. Link down below for all of you guys is the full interview. Until next time, I hope you guys all enjoy. Closing question, player salaries. Should we all be able to see them or not? Until next time, take care of yourselves. I'll see you guys back here soon.